Hi guys, and welcome to your coach training. I'm so excited to have you and so excited to share my story with you. I'm going to start now in your first, little bit. I want you guys to understand where I come from, who I am, what my story is, and maybe that'll help you guys realize that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to worry. You don't have to be stressed out. Imperfections are what make you you, and that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to embrace the you that is part of your story, part of your journey, the things that maybe you just don't want to acknowledge or maybe you've put aside because they bug you. But those are the things that are going to make you a great coach. They're going to make you a great person to relate to. So my journey started probably 10 years ago, and I'm not very old, so that puts me in about high school roughly, and I was about 14, maybe 13, and I started to have a very, very, very poor body image. I suffered with an eating disorder for most of my life. I still struggle today. It's not something that just goes away, unfortunately. And I was down. I am about 5'3", 5'2" and 3/4 if you ask my husband, because he does not want to give me that extra quarter. But I weighed about 95 pounds, I think, was my lowest weight, and I did not look healthy. I did not have any energy. I was just really focused and always seen myself as very big, no matter how small I got, and that's part of having an eating disorder. For most of my 8th and 9th grade year, I survived many days on Werther's candies. I would have a couple, and that was my thing to make it so that my hunger pains would go away, and I wouldn't eat. I would drink a lot of water and would just try to make those pains go away. It was awful. It was probably the worst way to treat your body, and it's even sadder now looking back, knowing that I was so young and already I was having body image issues. So fast forward a couple of years, when I was 17, I found out that I was pregnant. I was just finishing up my 11th grade year, and that was really hard. It was really hard to have all of these ambitions and all of these dreams, and I was planning on traveling and going to Europe after high school, and I wanted to go really far away for school, and I had all of these big dreams, and they just didn't happen because God had something else in store for me, and my plan had changed. So a month before my 18th birthday, I gave birth to my oldest daughter, Sophie, via emergency C-section, which was traumatizing. I was obviously not very old, and it was very hard for me to, had my water broke, and I just never progressed. My labor just didn't do anything. It was getting very bad. There was risk of infection, and I was rushed into surgery. That was very traumatizing. It was very hard for me to get over, and thankfully, everybody worries about their, post-pregnancy body, and I bounced back very quickly after I had my daughter. I gained about 60 pounds, and I lost it all, probably within the matter of 6 to 8 weeks. Most of it was water weight, and I just lost it. I don't know. Anyway, so I continued. I went away to university, and due to life circumstances, I ended up having a lot of stress, a lot of issues, and ended up in the hospital a number of times, and was diagnosed with IBS, which is a very hard thing to deal with when you have flare-ups. It makes it very hard to eat. Even now, I still have it, and I have episodes all the time. Certain things I haven't been able to eat anymore, but throughout all of this process, I lost a lot of weight. I lost even more weight. I became very unhealthy, and then when we discovered what the problem was, I was able to kind of push my body back the right way, and my body went into survival mode, which meant that I was going to pack on the pounds because my body was worried, given my history of starvation, and that's what your body does. When you starve it, nourished, so it holds on to whatever it gets. And my body was doing that because I was so sick before. And then I got pregnant with my second daughter. My husband and I got married shortly after she was born. And during that pregnancy, I gained a lot of weight again. And unfortunately, I did not lose that weight at all after she was born. I maybe lost 10, maybe 15 pounds after she was born, which was mostly baby because she was almost a 9-pound baby. So I didn't really lose any weight. I lost a lot of motivation. I suffered from postpartum depression after she was born. I've had an anxiety disorder my whole life, but as I had children, it got worse and worse as I've had more kids. And then my story really begins after I had my third daughter, Aubrey, in March of 2014. When I had her, I again suffered from postpartum depression, and right away I knew I had to combat it. I had, Sophie and Zoe at this point, and I needed to be there for Aubrey and, Soph and Zoe too. So I jumped right in and wanted, as soon as I was cleared by my doctor after my C-section to start working out, I jumped right in and wanted to get working out and doing all of these things. And I decided, brave old me, to pick up Insanity. And I did it for maybe a week, and then I gave up, and then I did it for another week, and then I gave up, and then I probably didn't touch it again for a couple of months, and then I tried it at the end of August, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I did it for another week, and I gave up. Then I decided that I was going to invest in all this workout equipment, so I got a treadmill, and I got an elliptical, and I got all these weights, and resistance bands, and an ab roller, and all kinds of stuff, and I kind of stuck to it, but no real routine, no real plan, no nothing really. And I was not at all focused on my nutrition. And then in September of 2014, my oldest started school. So I didn't want to be that mom that was embarrassed. I was feeling so self-conscious, and I just didn't want to interact with other moms, and I didn't want to go out and, plan play dates because I was just so uncomfortable in my skin, and I didn't want that for her. I didn't want my insecurities to affect her. So when she started school, I decided I was going to jump in, and that was the end of it. I was just going to do it, and that was that. So in October, I was researching for most of September, and then in October, I found the 21-Day Fix. And I was given a coach, and I was given, this amazing meal plan that helped me with, my eating disorder issues and, the starving myself and the snacking and the binging and those kind of things. Finally, I had a plan that worked, that made sense for me. And then I, had these workouts from home, and I didn't have to guess or figure it out or anything. And then the support. Okay, the support that was my missing piece. That was what I needed. I didn't have anybody that was around me that was losing weight or getting healthy or doing any of those things. So I needed that. I needed something to connect with, and I needed people to go to and people to get recipes from and ideas from. And in those 21 days, I lost 15 pounds. Which I was like, oh my goodness. So I continued and did it through to the end of December. And I, at that point, was able to get off of my anxiety medication. I was able to get off of my depression medication. And in the new year, I decided enough was enough. I was going to have to pay this forward because I know what it's like to feel alone. I know what it's like to feel like crap and be all by myself and feel like I'm fighting this battle alone. So I was like, I don't want anybody else to feel like that. So I reached out to my coach and asked, how do I do this? And then I became a coach. And I was scared at first. I ordered Insanity Max 30 when I became a coach, and I actually returned it because I was so petrified of failing. I didn't want to, put my all into something and then have to admit to people that it just didn't work. So I quit before I even gave it a shot. And then I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do this. So I contacted her again, and we got me set up, and I got the ball rolling. So I started officially coaching in February of 2015. And that's where I really found my fire. at the time, throughout all of this, I was doing university online. So I was doing university online with 3 kids. I was in the process of losing my weight that I had accumulated over the course of, a number of years. And now I wanted to pay it forward. I wanted to be there for other people, but I didn't have a ton of time. I didn't have, 8 hours to just dive into this. I mean, I had kids to take care of, and I had a degree to, work towards. I had things to do. So I did half an hour a day. I worked really hard and was able to build my business and get to a point where, in April of 2015, I graduated with my bachelor's degree in sociology. And then I decided in May that I was going to start a new degree. So I started the new degree and I wasn't really feeling it. So come August, a week before my exams, I actually quit. I threw in the towel and I went coaching full time. So my story is long and complicated and it kind of goes all over the place, and we all have our ups and downs. We all have those things that keep us going, those things that drive us forward, those things that, kind of interrupt us and cause a bump in the road, but that's okay. That is what makes you a person. That's what makes you relatable. That's what makes you, unique. Nobody wants everybody to be the same. That would be boring. So I want you guys to really take the next little while that we're going to go over all of the amazing things that are going to make you successful and are going to drive your business forward and help you accomplish your goals. I want you to take all of those things in. And if you have questions, ask. If you're, fighting through something and you're just, doubting yourself, reach out to me. That's what I'm here for. I will believe in you for the both of us if we need that. Okay. So, my why has changed a lot over the course of the last couple of years. But the one thing that I'm really working towards is happiness within my family and the ability to pay this opportunity forward. So I will do whatever I can, whatever I have to make both of those things happen. So I want you guys to dive into your why. What is driving you forward? How did you get here? Why are you a coach? And think about that as we go through the next, couple of assignments to get you ready to become a coach. Bye, guys.